Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Pulp Crazy. I'm Jason Aiken. This week I will be discussing the Barsoom Cycle by Edgar Rice Burroughs. This series is also known as the John Carter of Mars series, or the Barsoom series. They were all eventually published in novel form, but they were originally serialized in pulp magazines, such as All Story, All Story Weekly, Argosy All Story Weekly, Argosy Weekly, Amazing Stories, and Blue Book. Readers first traveled to Barsoom, which Martian natives call Mars. The Martians refer to Earth as Josoom. In February 1912, in the pages of All Story magazine. This tale is known as A Princess of Mars today, but it was originally published as Under the Moons of Mars. Edgar Rice Burroughs also published this under a pseudonym. He intended to publish it as Normal Being, a pun to ensure that readers knew that he was not mad for writing such a fantastic, out-of-this-world story. Remember, this was 1912. And the fantastic world-building elements that are commonplace in sci-fi and fantasy today were not present during this time period. And Burroughs was a first-class world builder who put a lot of thought into Martian geography, language, and culture. He didn't want people to think he was a madman for coming up with all of this. The typesetter, however, misinterpreted the normal for Norman, and the story was published under the name Norman Bean. It should also be noted, this was published before Tarzan of the Apes. Tarzan would not appear in All Story until the October 1912 issue. If you have seen the 2012 movie titled John Carter, you know the premise for this series already. John Carter is a former Confederate Civil War cavalryman, prospecting for gold in the Arizona desert. His actions draw the attention of Apaches, and while he's taking refuge in a cave, he is transported to Mars. While on Mars, he finds he has superhuman abilities due to the planet's atmosphere and gravity. He has enhanced strength, that gives him the ability to make superhuman leaps. When you pair these abilities with his training as a soldier, you get a very formidable warrior. John Carter is easily the best swordsman on both worlds. His skill with the sword is second to none. While on Mars, he befriends green Martians named Tars Tarkas and Sola, and a red Martian princess named Deja Thoris. He also befriends Woola, a friendly beast, the Barsoomian equivalent of a dog, called a Callet. John Carter is the focus of the first three novels: A Princess of Mars, The Gods of Mars, and The Warlord of Mars. Other characters take center stage after the initial three novels, with Carter becoming the main character again in Swords of Mars, John Carter and the Giant of Mars, and the Skeleton Men of Jupiter. Other main characters include John Carter's descendants, another Earthman named Ulysses Paxton, and Martian natives. Burroughs based the geography of Barsoom on the theories of an astronomer named Percival Lowell. Lowell published books where he mapped what he claimed were canals and polar ice caps on Mars. This was during the 18th and 19th centuries, and while his theories excited the public, many in the astronomy field were skeptical. His theories would later be proven wrong in the 1960s. Fans of the Barsoom series still owe him a great deal, as his theories planted the seed that Burroughs would blossom into Barsoom. Burroughs would populate Barsoom with green Martians, red Martians, black Martians, blue Martians, white Martians, yellow Martians, not to mention the exotic flora and fauna, or for that matter the technology the Martians use. The Barsoom Cycle can fit into a few categories of science fiction. It is most commonly placed as a planetary romance saga or a sword and planet saga. The stories are a lot of fun and are not short on action or interesting characters. I've read the first 5 books. These first 5 are in the public domain, and I really had a lot of fun with them. The first 3 books should be read in succession, as they form a trilogy of what is really one big story. The subsequent volumes are one-off tales, but should be read in order of publication. My personal favorite out of the 5 would probably be The Chessmen of Mars. I liked how the main character was a native Martian who did not have superhuman abilities, and I also liked the idea of Jetan, or Martian chess, that Burroughs came up with. He used it in the story in a creative way. If you saw the John Carter movie and like what you saw, I would highly recommend you read the books. I can give the first 5 the highest recommendation. They are available free online in either audiobook or ebook form. I will be sure to put links in the show notes where you can download them. As I doubt we will see another John Carter film anytime soon, this is probably your best bet if you want to visit the world of Barsoom again. While the movie stayed true to the book's spirit, it was far from a complete adaptation. They left out characters as well as different aspects of the Barsoom culture, especially when it comes to fighting. These books are a lot of fun to read, especially when you consider the period they were written in, and how many people were influenced by them. Without the Barsoom series and Edgar Rice Burroughs, we wouldn't have many of the science fiction and fantasy tales we enjoy today. The works of Jack Vance, Ray Bradbury, Arthur C. Clarke, and Robert E. Heinlein were influenced by Burroughs and the Barsoom series. Not only that, but the Barsoom tales also inspired many people to become scientists, such as astronomer, astrophysicist, cosmologist, and author Carl Sagan. I hope you will give the Barsoom series a try. They really are science fiction classics and tons of fun to read. I'll include links to different sites in the show notes where you can learn more about Barsoom, Edgar Rice Burroughs, and Percival Lowell. That's it for this week's episode. I wanted to get one up before I left for Pulp Fest. I'll be sure to do some panel recordings there and share them with everyone. Pulp Crazy is located at pulpcrazy.com. I'm at Pulp Crazy on Twitter and at facebook.com/pulpcrazy. You can email me at pulpcrazy@gmail.com. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.